to emancipate the people of the Niger Delta.
Yeah, we are here today to remember the death of Isaac Adakaboro. Now, Adakaboro is somebody who fought for the liberation of the Izoman in 1966. Why the man is so important that as far back as 1966, somebody realized that Izoman is suffering. We have been neglected. Our area is not developed. Subsequently, he was arrested and sentenced to death. But the federal government later commuted the sentence to life imprisonment.
We have a genuine struggle that we must engage. Our struggle must benefit us. It must make us to be developed. It must make us to control our resources. We had international sympathy before now, but now everybody is now carrying the just struggle as if it is a struggle of criminals and so forth. We have allowed our struggle to be infiltrated. So many of them are not genuinely fighting for the job people. If we keep this present level of militancy that exists now, it is only our communities that will be destroyed. It is only our people that will die. Therefore, we need to start afresh. We must wage war, a war of peace. If you are pointed out as a militant, the soldiers will either arrest you or kill you. It has been happening almost every day. And so that's why we demanded for amnesty, that amnesty must be granted so that these boys can come out and participate in meaningful activities.
The government has come to a point that anybody fighting for the good of the people should now lay down their arms, team up with government to see that the development we need is accelerated. The future is very bright. Government is yielding, and some of our boys are responding.
Peace is the first infrastructure you can think of. If you really want to achieve development, then there must be peace.
Bayelsa State is supposed to be one of the best states in South-South, but due to the militancy and other threats, people are just saying some negative things about the state. When there's peace in any state, there will be progress. I'm urging the youth to stop violence and let us embrace peace so that foreign investors can come in. Those that don't have job can get something doing. The youth of Bayelsa, they don't like doing something tangible. You wouldn't want to believe that I'm a Baba, because so many youth in this state wouldn't like to be called a Baba, just because of the pomposity. Because they are waiting for people to maybe dash them money. They want to always be loyal to people to get free money. But me, I just decide that I want to use my hand and do something and work. I like what I'm doing, and I do it well.
Today we are looking at employment generation. Whose responsibility should it be? Should it be the government or the individuals and the private sector?
So in Bayelsa, I would say that the onus actually lies with government, but it also lies with the people themselves. They themselves have to be ready to work, because I've met a lot of people who are definitely not ready to work.
I also know that callers have been disturbing us, but countrywoman, maybe we'll just take you briefly and then let's take a few calls.
So for our people to really stabilize for business, we will get financial discipline. And like as my brother will talk before I come talk, opportunities plenty. So make our people get discipline for body and shine their eye well. Plenty opportunity the way they will take see work.
They respect themselves small.
What is really the government's policy focus on employment generation?
Whatever we do, if it doesn't drive the economy, it doesn't make sense. The industry that we can immediately crank up to a start is the oil industry. The oil companies are already operating in the States, but they are not really present in Bayelsa because of an accident of history. It's not their making, because of the way the state was created. When those companies started, we were part of River State. So it was okay by all of us for them to set up in River State. Now, fortunately, we've gotten our state. Should they continue to operate in River State, or should they now come and operate in Bayelsa? These are hard decisions to make for the companies. But we have also realized that the companies are saying, look, okay, create the infrastructure for us. In fact, there was a time I spoke to Shell, and they said, look, we live in houses, And that's true. They live in houses, and we don't have the kind of houses that they live in here in Bayelsa. So we have to create the infrastructure. Then we are building the airport, of course, which is a major compliment. If you remember last week, I met with all the chief executives of all oil companies that is already in advance selling these programs to them so that they can now make up their mind to move here. And we're making good progress there.
In the petroleum bill that just passing through a second reading at the National Assembly is the fact that every oil majors in this country that gets up to the mark of 100,000 barrels per day production should refine at least half of its products here in Nigeria, where it is coming from. And let me tell you the trick. 70% of Nigerian oil company Ajib operation is in Bayelsa State. Shell gets more than 100,000 barrels per day production only in Bayelsa State. Texaco, 100% operation is in Bayelsa State. It means that their own refinery will be built here in Bayelsa State. Let's assume you have 3 refineries in this state. Who are the people to cry for unemployment? These 3 refineries will just absorb everybody.
Here in Bayelsa, we have a very delicate environment. We are in the midst of the 3rd largest wetland in the world. We will have the oil economy. But you and I know that there's a lot of oil production going on which has affected the ecosystem really badly. I have been a believer in the fact that the oil economy is unsustainable, because oil itself is a depleting resource, and as you keep producing the oil, you keep depleting your reserves, and it will definitely get to a point. It could be 20 years, it could be 30 years, it could be 50 years, it could be 10 years, it could be 5 years, oil will finish. So as a people, we cannot continue to depend on oil as energy forever. Today, if the oil economy collapses, what next? The first area we looked at as an area of possibility, the area of agriculture. Our soil is one of the most fertile. We don't need fertilizer to grow anything in this space, because we are a predominantly riverine state. We also looked at fish as an area of focus, because our people are predominantly fishermen. We looked at also the area of oil palm.